Alright, here in 5, we're going to be watching AJ. AJ's a Masters Ball, and he's about 3.7 in this game, or at least 3.7 is his peak, and he hit that around the same time as this game happened, but this game is a loss, and he's come to me saying, you know, I don't know what I should be doing differently, but it is a close game, we do lose, I don't feel like it's entirely my fault, but what things do I need to be thinking about, these sort of things, and here we're setting up for our set play at the beginning of our game. I don't think you need to know set plays to climb in the game. I think you can just focus on going for good engagements at a good time, and you'll climb no problem. But if learning set plays helps you be more enthusiastic about Wrecking Ball and helps you have confidence at the beginning of the games because you know exactly what you want to do, then I think that's great and you should stick with them. So one thing that we're watching for here, we're watching for the position of the payload to inform our boop. And we grappled up here to get to the spot if you don't know how to do this. I don't usually bother doing this, and we can set up for this boop from over here. This is generally where I'll be on this map at the start is I go here so I can scout the enemy team comp and then go for a boop in this direction. But this play is also fine. But I think if anyone's watched me play the game, you know how vocal I am and how much I just love to tell my team what the other team is playing, even if my team can see it anyway. So I'd be saying that we're playing against Ana Mercy, playing against Genji, against Hog and Ryan, but you can't see that because you're not over here or over here or anywhere that would let you see the enemy composition. We're going for our set play from an angle where we don't necessarily have all that information, and that is a little risky because we don't know what CC we might be running into unless our team communicates that to us. So we are going to drop down and look for a boop on the bridge. I'm not really sure whether this was a misplay from you. I think you've gone for this play and it just hasn't worked out, and sometimes that's going to happen. I think most of the time that might happen, to be honest, but there's not a lot of better things to be doing at this point in time, and it can go really well. We know that we can be as many as 3 people off at the beginning of the game here, so not a huge problem with you doing this, and this Ana uses sleep. But if we go on the Ana by herself, we're not going to have much follow-up because our team's way over here, not even seeing that we're on the Ana, so I don't know that I want you to go on this Ana because you're just going to get healed by the Mercy, but if you can show me that you pay attention to when the Ana has used her sleep and go and chase her when she does that, then I'm going to be happy with that. So right now, I'd be thinking, I've gone for my set play has not worked, I need to get out. If possible, I want to get out without using adaptive shields, but if I'm taking too much damage, maybe I'm going to have to use adaptive shields to get out. And when you do get out here, I'd like it if we end up on the high ground, especially against this composition, this Ryan composition. Ryan's only a threat when you're on the same height as him, right? If you play on the ground against the Ryan on the ground, you're going to take damage from the Ryan, but if you're on the high ground, Ryan can't really do anything. You can poke the Ryan behind his shield, and that can be really difficult for him to deal with, so just something to think about. We're waiting for our grapple cooldown to come back actually on you. Right, so we get out pretty much as fast as possible. I would have probably felt like I had to use adaptive shields there, and I would have preferred if we somehow managed to grapple onto this high ground. That's generally what I try to do there. Get sort of moving wide like this makes me a little anxious, and this is a really head-on engagement. Especially when we know they have sleep and they have Kree, going head-on like that is really easy to land cooldowns on, so... Still playing on the floor quite a lot as well. Doing this really slow flank behind kind of makes me uncomfortable because this is giving their team a lot of time to kill your team, right? And again, if we'd been on the high ground, we could have just walked across over the top and been behind pretty much the same position, probably faster. You just spent a lot of time there with pretty much no say in what happens to your team. So just be careful about doing that. And we've spotted the Ana. We're going to go on the Ana. I don't like this. Okay. Right, so we go into a Hog and a Kree. That never really goes well for you. I'm not really sure what the plan was there, but your team's got no tanks now, so your team's got to run away. And now this card is in a position where we're starting to worry about them getting this whole phase of the map, right? So how do we want to contribute to winning fights here in this part of the map so that we don't lose this beginning phase? How do we clutch out team fights here? Probably with our minefield. So if I'm you, I want to start thinking about how am I getting my mines. So that's my main plan for you right now, is go and build mines. You've got a pick. I like the pile drive on cart. We get a kill with it as well. Awesome. Are we going to be able to touch? Is the question. We're being hoggled away. This is kind of okay. I'd be shooting Orion. Shoot the Mercy, yeah. Really good. Awesome. Okay, so we've won this fight now. You can be running way forward right now. Look for more kills. Look for more players you can kill. You do not need to be the furthest person back. You've got the biggest health pool. You've got the most mobility. I don't like that we're at the very back here, but maybe you don't trust your team not to C9. But I think there are players over on the bridge over here. Your Ash has actually managed to clean up this late kill. That's kind of the kind of pick that I wanted you to go and find, was these late kills that mean they have to wait even longer before they can take another fight. It looks like we want to go and save our Roadhog. Power Driver is cool. We've got mines now, and like I've been saying, mines for this fight where they get the checkpoint is really important. So I want you to go and survive and think about how you're going to minefield the checkpoint, pretty much. Or we could mine players here. Like if they push here, minefielding here can be okay. We are a bit wary of mines sticking to the sides, sticking to the walls over here. So maybe have to minefield just on the floor. Going way wide like this. This is a lot like when we went behind over here. But what you've done here is you've essentially just walked away from your team and away from their team. And now we're giving their team lots of time to go and kill our team without us having any say in it, right? None of these players are distracted about you existing right now. They're just thinking, oh, I'm going to go kill the red enemies on my screen. Your team over here. So this really stresses me out because I'm worried now that their team's going to start killing your team, and it's already happening. We've already lost to Ash. So this is already a 5v6 for your team. So we shouldn't expect you to win that, but you do have mines which are really good on this area of the map. They've got Nanoblade. So if you want to minefield your team when they use Nanoblade, that could be really good. But I'm just pretty... I don't know, I don't like running all the way back over here. I don't know if you just really want to be safe, but to me, a safe position can just be on the high ground up here, right? Especially against Ryan. All we're worried about when we're playing on the high ground here is maybe taking too much poke damage from the Kree that we can't go in, or being hooked off the high ground. And you can watch for the hook, and you can move further back on the high ground to not take too much damage. We could also just go on a high ground above the payload. There's like there's that area there that you could be. I don't like this position on the floor miles behind their team. So they're Valking. You're grappling high up here. It looks like you're going for a minefield. It's not really where... I don't know. I don't like this setup too much. Because it looks like you don't make it. Yeah, this is not gonna... Right, so you just missed our minefield essentially. That's like why this hasn't worked. And they cap as we're deploying it. So we're just a bit too late. And the reason we're too late isn't because it was particularly a difficult situation, but against the push coming from here, you decided to run way away from everyone, and it's just not where the fight was happening. You've got to try not to go on these super slow flanks because you're just going to run out of time, especially as you go into higher elo. People are going to be faster at regrouping and taking fights, and you aren't going to be able to win fights doing this. It's just too slow. Like, yeah, we kill someone, but objectively we've completely failed there. We don't really want to take fights here. It's pretty hard to boot people off the bridge as well. And you didn't have adaptive shields here, so I'm pretty worried you were going to die. Right, so we've used Rally here. And now your team's sort of lingering on the bridge, which is a really awkward place to take fights. So I don't really know what I think you should be doing here. I think this position that you've taken is kind of okay. When I've got wall hacks like this, it's really obvious that this player is isolated, right? If we just value being hidden, we could maybe catch this Anna late as she's crossing after her team. What's awkward is just that your team is trying to take fights on the bridge, and I don't think you're particularly good at that with your hero. And I don't think your team's particularly going to be good at that anyway. It's just not a good place to be taking fights. So I don't really think this is your fault too much. It's pretty difficult to boot people off the bridge there. I would just get out at this point. Your team's getting staggered. Yeah, getting all the way out. This is good. Like, I like how often we use cover and sort of peek around it. And we're playing team side right now. I like us taking high ground. This is good. Honestly, just for ult charge, you could pile drive on a cart right now. Since we're waiting for our players to come back, we can use all our cooldowns to get sort of just an ult charge cycle out. And what I mean by that is that we pile drive and we use adaptive shields and then we grapple out to safety. We never expect a kill from it. We're just building minefield if we do that. And I was saying we could go that just because we'd lost a player late, and our team as a whole can't take fights right now. I feel like you're looking for that actually. Oh no, okay. So I think you were trying to drop boop here. I can explain why this didn't work, I think. One sec. So here we are, we're going for it soon. I do quite like the position you take here. This is one of the better positions you've taken all games so far. We're playing at an off angle on high ground behind their team, which is just so strong. The way I like to think of it is that you have to give the enemy team a chance to make mistakes. And so here we're essentially asking them, are you going to look behind yourselves, you know? Because if they don't, you can do so many things. Honestly, I think poking from this high ground is good, just with M1 if you want to build ult charge. Or we could power drive on a cart to build ult charge and then adaptive shields and get out. But you end up going for drop boop and you're going to grapple over here. I think the reason this didn't work is because you're going to grapple too late. So I'm just going to slow it down and we're going to play it through. So you needed to grapple. Alright, wait, so he's just too far away. You're not going to hit anyone. But it looks like you wanted to drop boop here. It's just a shame it doesn't quite work out. I think it is kind of forcing it a bit. Like, it didn't feel super natural. Generally, when I want to drop boop people, it's tanks. Tanks are the most consistent people to drop boop, and their position doesn't randomly change as much as DPS. Like squishies, like the Genji could dash, the Kree could roll. So many sort of unpredictable things are going to happen when you're going on squishies that drop booping them is just a bit low percentile. It's not very likely to work out sometimes, even if your execution's on point. But right here, I don't think you grapple before reaching the ground to begin with, right? Yeah, it's like, so you practically hit the ground before you grapple. You can grapple much earlier if you're going for a drop boop, and you need to get the first fireball as you're going into the ground, second fireball as you're moving along the ground after hitting the target the first time. This guy is definitely too far away to drop boop anyway, though. But yeah, I don't really like this play too much because it's not going to give us much ult charge towards our minefield, and I don't really expect us to get a kill here. So what are we really doing? We're taking attention. We're probably just going to die though, if I'm really honest, because we're going on a Kree that hasn't used any kind of cooldowns, no kind of starting damage. I can't really tell if your team's trying to play with this, but it didn't feel like your team was very set up to follow you, so not a massive fan of this play. Okay, so the Kree misses flash. Go power drive on a cart maybe? Yeah, this is good. I like this. Wrapping back to cover, nice. Go on the high ground again. I don't know why they've backed off there. But we played that kind of alright, to be honest. You've got adaptive shield, so you can just do a greedy power driver right now. And just sort of start making things happen. What I love about this, right, is that we use Bob, and then you power drive after. And that's so strong as a sort of combo. It just sort of lumping your damage abilities together is really good. And to me, that's why that's gone so well there. Push up. I want to see you like running forward, way forward, trying to catch these kills. This is a lot like on the previous point where we stayed back after we'd won a fight and we let people go back to spawn. You have the most mobility in the game and you've such a big health pool that we aren't worried about losing a 1v1 to a Mercy. You could be pushing up right now. Or it's a Genji rather, not a Mercy, but like you can chase this player. He gets out on 110 health, and I just feel like we could have been so much further forward. You never need to be in the same position as your Ana. I like this position. This position's okay. We could still be further forward. We could be over here. But there was no reason why we couldn't have gone further forward and then come back to this position, right? We respect the enemy team too much when we're up in a fight. So what I do like, this is one of the first times in the game where you've sat on high ground and just sort of watched for where the enemy team's going, like scouting. This is really good, honestly. We can see they're going on those stairs on the far side. So how are we going to react to that? We probably want to use mines this fight. Generally, if you've got minefield in a fight that's coming up, you want to try and work out for a way to use it. Just because we can't really sit on mines for a definite sort of use that the team sort of gets behind as a group, because sometimes mines just don't work out. So I'd be looking for how to use mines here. And I'm a little worried again that we're just like completely not involved. We're just sort of sitting back as our team dies. maybe if you want to sit back and work out how you're going to use your minefield, you got to say to your team, guys, I'm looking to use mines. Just play safe for a bit, or play slow, as people call it. We could be rolling through now and booping people off the high ground onto sort of the lower area. We could go for a minefield up here. I'm not really sure what I do because I feel like I don't usually do what you're doing here, but I don't dislike it. I do like this position. I do like that we got all this visibility. It was cool, but we're just being so slow to do anything with the information that we've got. I love that we got the information. It's cool that we've got a cool position that they don't know anything about, but we're not actually using it to do anything, and we're just letting our team die. Like this is way too late. This is really unlucky though, that the boop that happened there. Go minecart, but we've already lost 2 people. So this went from being in a good position, getting all the right information to do something proactive with your ultimate that we sat on for the entire team fight, to a lost team fight, not because we misplayed anything mechanically, just because we took too long to do something. There's got to be a timer in your head and a sense of urgency of, if I just leave the game as it is for too long, my team's going to die. Because if you go and hide, your team is 6v5, yeah? So it just stresses me out that we sort of sit around and people die. We've got to be a bit faster to do things. I like the intent of the late recontest. We did just keep losing players though. It felt like you were waiting for your adaptive shields to go back in, and that was honestly the right play. I don't think you played this fight here anywhere near as poorly as we played the fight before it, but even then there were promising aspects. Like, it was a cool idea. You just like completely lacked confidence or any kind of sort of decisive action to just go in and do something. Yes, it looked awkward to use a minefield, but like that was your setup. You have to choose your position according to what you want to do. If you want to use mines in the fight coming up, then you've got a position in a place that lets you use minefield. I think you could have just sort of gone crashing through from your hiding spot and just use mines and just see what happens. Use mines, power drive, adaptive shields, shoot people. You're going to have had much more success than we had just sort of sitting back and hoping that the stars align and give us a really obvious opportunity. So we just played this fight way too passive. So yeah, I did like the late recontest. I just think the fight before it was pretty terrible, in a sense that we just didn't do anything in time. You've got to be aware of a sort of time limit of how long can I let my team sort of sit by itself for before it's too late, right? And especially with a Hog as your other tank, your team doesn't have the protection of a Rhine shield or a Orisa shield, so you can't expect them to just stand around forever without dying. Because if these players could do that, they would be Grandmaster, you know? Like, this is... You still got to respect that these players aren't going to make the best decisions or have incredible positioning. They are going to die if you just leave them to stand around, so we have to take more risks and be more proactive. Dying first there would have been much better than dying after your entire team dies. Again, we're playing very team side. Like, you don't need to be on the same side as your team. You can go over here. I play over here as Zarya on this Mega sometimes. What I really want you to do is stop being the furthest person back. Go and get information about where their team's playing. Go and be in angles that make it difficult for their team to look at both you and your team at the same time. Because that's also going to help your team spend more time alive. This is better, and we've kind of given up on this. I'm not sure what was wrong. What made you give up on going behind them there? Going behind them sets up for a minefield. This is a really head-on engagement again. I don't hate it, but your team is still quite far away. It's cool if you're deliberately minefielding Yana. I don't know, it felt a little blind, and it's very head-on. We could have been slept, we could have been stunned by this Kree here. Or hooked. We get hooked in the end. This none is fine. Go on Yana. We can kill the Ana here. You got Power Driver back while still nanoed? Okay. I mean, we've won this fight. Again, we win a fight and we stay in our team. We don't need to do that. I really want you to go racing into their team and look for more kills, because that's how you're going to climb. But not necessarily head on. Use the high ground. Go on the stairs. Like, I want to see you go up there and see if you can kill this Kree or something. Because your Ashe is really good at this, like really consistently. You win a team fight and then your Ashe kills someone after, and they have to wait even longer for this player to respawn, right? Like, look, like, You won this fight ages ago, the players have all spawned now, and then your Anna's died. Their Anna's died, rather. And that's so good. It means they can't take another fight for ages. We could be helping trying to kill this hog right now.
Enemy contact.
This is another sort of thing that you seem to do quite often, is that you'll pick a position to hide, but you can't actually see the enemy team at all. The only way you see someone here is that they literally walk past players on your team already, or they come and peek this by themselves. It's just not a position that gives you a ton of information, so I can't expect you to make very good decisions with it. If you go and take a position where you can see lots of things, we can see the game together and we can see opportunities and decide whether things are good or bad to go in on, I'm going to have more feedback than if you sort of hide away and cover all the enemy players with walls and go in blind on things, because I just don't know if it was a good decision or not. I would like you to take positions with more visibility. This Kree's going to come over here, okay. We can maybe take that fight. But I can understand not wanting to go and fight a Kree. We don't have mines right now for their Nanoblade. We don't have a support ult for their Nanoblade. We don't really feel favoured in this fight. I wasn't really thinking about this, I'm not going to lie. I would just power drive the Ana right now. I would power drive over here, and I'd hope to get minefields. Just build as much ult charge as I can. Not too worried about killing someone, but if you kill the Ana, that would be huge. But just go and get ult charge and die on cart. That's my plan here, because we need to recontest with minefield late and hopefully not lose the game right now. That's pretty much my whole plan, and that's what we go for. This is really good. This is fine. Roll into them all, as much ult charge as possible. Don't minefield. Oh, okay. I didn't like this minefield, man. I didn't like this minefield. This is like the only minefield you're really going to get for the rest of the game. I'm not really sure how the Genjis died to it. It just felt like they could have just walked backwards away from it way too easily. We see the Kree, this is good, we get a kill, okay. Push up, push way up, push way up. Go on Yana, good. Keep looking for people. We get so far up in fights, and then we just stay with our team. We're the furthest person back again. Like, your Ashe pushes up after every fight. There's no reason for you to be so far back. It just means we don't have as much information to work with as well. Are we going to look for a big power driver here? I don't think playing this passively, at this point now, I don't expect you to get minefield before the game ends. And I would really be thinking, when I'm in this position, that I want to have minefield to close out the overtime fight. I think that's one of the most consistent times we can expect to get value out of minefield is in overtime, or the final fight in a game. So I really try to go for it. I don't care about my weapon accuracy. I'd be shooting a Roadhog for ult charge right now. I'd be trying to take attention. Playing this passively, especially when you've got adaptive shields, like, I don't know, I just feel like you're almost asking for your team to die, like players on your team to just get picked. You can afford to be a little bit more proactive than this, and right now, just being slightly more proactive over the course of the game would mean you'd get another minefield before this game ends, and I really think we're not going to manage it. I think we're going to be close to getting another minefield. I don't think you're going to get one. We gave up on a big opportunity for a power driver there. We eventually do it. Okay, cool. Could be pushing up. We still got our adaptive shields active. Go on the Ana. This is okay. Yeah, we can go in again with this. It's kind of like a lot of grapple damage there, which is good. Go power drive. Power drive on a cart. Nice. Nice. This is good. You can kill the Genji. You can kill the Moira. Okay, well we've won this, but we didn't get minefield, which is the main thing I was talking about. And it would have been nice to have minefield to close out this final fight, so you definitely don't lose it. Okay, right, well we're going to watch you attack now. But yeah, we get minefield just after dying way at the very end. So a very winnable game. Alright, so we're attacking now, and they've actually gone and picked a Sombra for you. No more Kree, but Sombra equally a problem, if not more so, and I don't know if your team's going to tell you about that or we're going to be finding out the hard way, but looks like we're rolling out wide. I quite like this. I like this position. This is good, dude. We're going to get some nice information, and we're already split from our team in a way that means that they can't pay attention to both us and our team at the same time, which makes this a strong position. Only way this gets better is that you play on high ground. But yeah, we are going to run into a Sombra pretty soon. But I do like this position. I like the scouting you're doing. Our Ashe is with us. Don't know if she's going to help us with the Sombra that's found you. I would have tried to use adaptive shields like straight away. Go take the Mega, yeah. We're lucky it's not hacked. Playing way behind the team now. You could take the high ground here. You could have sort of grappled. Even though it feels kind of awkward, you can definitely grapple to get up there. And you can start playing along this sort of top over here. I know this is not a good drawing of where you could be playing, but I think you get where I mean. Because this is on the floor. We do not want... Okay, as much as the Ana misses sleep here, we do not want to be on the floor in the middle of the enemy team against Sombra. That just never works well for you, dude. We're going to get hacked. We're so lucky to make it out. Really lucky, like. Gotta take high ground against Sombra. Pile drive late into fights. Right now, I'd go on the stairs. I'd go on the stairs and I'd play on this high ground up here. And just shoot people with primary fire. Right now, we could go... Maybe pester this Ana, but she probably sleeps you. But you can go up top on that high ground behind there and sort of take an off angle in that way. But definitely to me right now, grappling in and pile driving is off the table completely. Do not do that. I think pile driving at all is pretty off the table unless you're up in a team fight already. If your Ashe kills someone, maybe you could do that. I don't know. Just grappling into their team is giving me heart attacks. So we can give our Ana ult charge here. I don't know who we're nanoing. I guess we nano our soldier. Okay. So it looks like we're going to roll way behind them, are we? I just really want to see you go up here still. I know I keep saying this, but just go along on the high ground against Sombra. It's so strong. Or so much better at least. I do like the sort of poke you go for there. But that sort of the floor flank along the right is off the table to me right now because the Sombra's going to see it easily. She's going to hack you and you're going to be on the floor in their team. So we can't do that. It feels like we were thinking about doing that and the only reason we stopped is because the Ana sees us. But I'm just saying that you should not do that against Sombra. Okay, so they EMP. Looks like they really want to win this fight. They use 3 ults there. Pretty good for us that we only lose like 2 people to that. They could have gotten a lot more value out of these ults, so we can really expect to win the next fight, to be honest. They've just got nano and bulk. We're close to mines. This is good. Best position you've taken so far. Awesome. Don't pile drive though. Don't pile drive. This is terrifying. There's Sombra like really messed up there. She should have hacked you. We get the kill on the Ana. This has gone really well, but I really the pile drive was terrifying. Like I felt like we were gonna die and feed 600 ult charge. I'm gonna go back to it because I want to show you. So you grapple up here. I love this position. You don't need to give this position up because right now we can already just primary fire shoot people and build ult charge and get mines or just help get a pick. Especially when you start nanovisoring, focus fire is pretty helpful. Like if you can put some more damage out there, you're going to be killing more people with the nanovisor. Pile drive isn't the only way to contribute towards team fights, and against Sombra right now, pile drive is such a risky play. But it's good that we go in like once we realize that the Sombra's dead. It's good that you sort of go aggressive while you're winning a fight and make sure we kill everyone. This is like one of the first times we've done this game. And it's what you need to be doing more. Is like you win a fight and you're pushing up and you're killing everyone. You're making sure everyone dies, making sure people die late, and it's going to make them make it much harder for them to take this next fight. Because if we didn't push up and help kill the hoghead there, maybe he retouches. Maybe this fight's easier for them to take. You're going to minefield the bridge now. This is really good. If you do, oh, okay. I thought we were going to minefield the bridge there. You can drop down now though. You can drop down and minefield here. That's perfectly fine as well. This is good. Good minefield. You should win this fight. Good. Yeah, like this is a good boop as well. Like you're booping people into your mines. We're not putting out a huge amount of damage. We could have pile drived a bunch of times by sort of you can pile drive by grappling like the ceiling of this, swinging up and pile driving on their side just in front of the bridge, and then you use adaptive shields and you pump out a bit more damage. It feels like you're trying to just knock people away to complete the capture, and that's a bit like a bit optimistic maybe. Okay, this should be a one fight. It should have been a one fight ages ago. Okay. Right, so we finally get first. We're already halfway to mines again, and we're pushing up and killing Ash, which I like a lot. We're pretty deep in enemy territory by myself, but this is what I've been trying to nag you to do all game. It's just now they've got a Sombra, so now they actually kind of punish you for overextending a bit better than they did before. But I do like seeing you do this. I like when you go way into their team after you win a fight, looking for more kills, and you managed it there. That was good. Just got a bit caught out by the Sombra. I don't know, it's probably a mistake there to do it. This is the sort of spirit that I want you to have though the whole game, so I'm happy to see you make that play even if you get punished for it. Sort of pile drived into the ledge there, like we got caught in the lip. I like this position. We can roll through and get a lot of grapple damage and get a lot of progress towards minefield, right? We split the enemy team. This is pretty cool. Pile drive the Zarya now. Scream at your team to kill Zarya. Big. They use EMP. This is huge for us. Clear the Ashe on high ground. You want to go and contest the Ashe on high ground right now. Maybe shoot the Ana actually because she's really low, but I'm really worried about this Ashe on high ground, uncontested. I don't think anyone on the team deals with that as well as you do. Maybe a Sigma could turn around and shield her, but I'm worried she's gonna be a problem for your team now. Okay, they land a big shatter. And they use bubble light. They use 2 ults, so that's kind of okay to lose that fight. But no one dealt with this Ashe. But I liked how you rolled through at the top and split their team. That was good. Your Ashe is having a really good game. Okay, so we can look to use mines this fight, right? And the way I'd be looking to use mines is I drop through here, I minefield in this doorway, and I pile drive on the cart by being on the cart and then dropping. That would be my plan here. I don't know what we're gonna do. Oh, the Sombra's looking at you. This is cool as well. This is honestly really good as well. And the Zarya already used personal, I think. There was definitely at least one Zarya bubble gone already, and it would be good to sort of, against Zarya, be aware of when she's got her cooldowns available, especially looking to use minefield, because 2 Zarya bubbles when you use minefield are going to save 2 people. So you are going to get hacked here, but you should get a lot of starting damage to help your team win this fight. I thought this minefield was fine. You even live against the Sombra hack. This is good. You can go fight this Sombra because she hasn't hacked the mini. If the mini was hacked there, I would never push that Sombra. Go take the high ground. Go fight the Ana on high ground. Yeah, awesome. Okay, Ana's dead. Go pile drive. Oh, I suppose that, yeah, I don't want you to pile drive against Sombra hack actually. We really want the Sombra to go away right now. Pressuring her's good, yeah? You're playing this pretty well. Like, I love how you keep taking this high ground. You can't really pile drive against Sombra. I think you played that pretty well this fight. It's just pile driving against Sombra is really, really punishable. Your brig is miles away right now, so I hope we don't try and take a fight. I just drop away from the Sombra. She definitely has Translocator. I like sort of wrapping behind. Oh, I don't know. I don't like going back here when we just sort of met a Sombra there. I would maybe be wrapping way behind and going to their Mega way behind them. Because here we're doing what you were doing kind of way early in the game of really playing at the same side as your team. And it's really easy for them to just look at your team and you at the same time. And they've got a much better sort of frontline brawl tank composition, right? We've got Bull Sigma and they've got Ryan Zarya, the tank line that snowballs with lots of frontline damage. So this doesn't really play to your strengths right now, but we're using ults. You pile drive late after that. Yeah, this is really good. Good pile driver timing. This is pretty good stuff. Double V on the Zarya. Should be able to kill the Zarya. Nice. We can take the rest of this fight now. You've lost your Ashe. Still a winnable fight. We're going to go pile drive. I thought we were going to pile drive on cart there. Kind of dancing with death a bit, but we played this pretty well so far. We're pile driving against Sombra in their team. We're really lucky to be alive there. I'd run away, run away. Get way out if you can. Now we're thinking about going behind them on the left. We chicken out all the time. You can do that. Go in and power drive. Sometimes, like, the way you grapple into the air is really awkward. This is like the second time, the very first minefield you do in the game, I think, on defense on first was like this as well, where you sort of, you grapple high up on a wall to get into the air, and it's just so kiteable. You don't get close enough to the enemy team to use mines. No one actually ends up in your minefield, right? And this is like the second time you've done that, of like you grapple way up high on a wall that isn't really close to where you want to get with your mines. So maybe just revisit that in custom games. Put a bot somewhere and say, I'm going to go high into the air and minefield pile drive that bot from a position that isn't practically on top of him. Because we're kind of struggling to find good grapples for it. I'm just going to go back and rewatch it. So we're going to get nanoed here, pretty much. Right? And the grapple I'm looking at isn't... Right, so we grappled the wall here for some reason. Could have just rolled further forward and grappled this corner here, and that's going to help you get over their team. Because I think we're going to use minefield miles away from their team. Like, it kind of looks like they're close, but there are so many mines. Like, half the minefield is just objectively nowhere near their team, I think. So it's not a surprise that no one dies to that. It shouldn't be a surprise. Because by the time the mines activate, people have walked miles away. And this is another thing where minefield is really strong in that sort of last fight territory of people have to contest the objective, and then you put mines on it, and it's just really hard for them. This minefield got so little value. Yes, you got nanoed, so pile driving after the nano is good, and using mines while nanoed and then pile driving to get lots of progress to the next minefield is really good. But that doesn't mean that you have to use mines and have to try and go for that play where you build more ult charge because you're nanoed after minefield, right? Because that totally hasn't worked out here, and it would have been better to just save minefield. I don't know. Maybe just having the self-awareness to realize, oh, actually, if I minefield here, no one's going to die to it, and just saving minefield, it's fine. That would have been a lot better than using minefield and getting no one. Imagine if we were able to minefield the cart here. Maybe this Ana dies. Maybe this Ashe dies. Maybe this fight's winnable. We definitely could have used our minefield better. Just a kind of an awkward grapple into it. Definitely, you did say that nano timing is pretty awkward, and it was. Not the best nano. A lot of nanos are quite awkward. But I just think you don't have to respect the nano so much that you used your ultimate because of it. We could have just saved it to use later in the fight. Like, you're better at evaluating whether you should pile drive or not than you are whether you should use Mindful or not. What do I think you should work on from this game? You need to take high ground more often. You need to take off angles away from your team on high ground. That would be really strong. I'd like you to push up much further after you win team fights to try and get late kills on people, staggers, so that their team can't take as many fights throughout the course of the game because they're waiting for people to respawn because you're killing them late. A lot of the minefields in here were really awkward in the sense that you weren't ready to be in a position to use mines. It's like, oh, I've got to go and minefield their team now, and I'm going to grapple high on the wall here, and then no one's in the minefield when we use it. And the other thing is just recognizing that your team's just going to die over time. If you leave them enough time to sort of stand around by themselves, they will die. It's just the nature of a team shooter. People going to die if you leave them alone. So just try and be more proactive, because you definitely, well, it felt like there were no fights where you died first and then your team died after. It felt like every fight you lost, you died last because your team had already died. It's not surprising to me that you can't win 1v6 team fights. And you shouldn't think that the way that you need to climb in this game is by learning to win 1v6. You need to work out how to make that 6v6 easier for the team before it starts happening.